Now, in today's world of ordering everything online and getting it delivered to your door, even more so in this COVID era that we live in at the moment, electric vans make a hell of a lot of sense. What's the use in having a petrol or diesel van gargling away at the end of someone's driveway whilst you're delivering a package? Or moreover, why burn fuel when you're in stop-start traffic in an urban environment? In that regard, electric vans are perfect for the job, something aptly demonstrated by Amazon's colossal order for the new electric Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. Today, we're in the Sprinter's little brother, the Vito, or eVito to be more precise. Now, as the name suggests, the eVito is based on the very familiar Vito van that's been around for decades, more specifically the latest generation of it. And proportionally, it's almost identical. It's available in a 6 or 6.6 metre length, with a practically identical cargo capacity. The eVito is capable of carrying up to 923 kilos of weight in the back and comes standard with 2 sliding doors. In place of the traditional diesel engine under the bonnet, you'll find a 114 brake horsepower electric motor that also produces 220 pounds-feet of torque, so it's got plenty of shove to get you up and going. However, unlike something with a Tesla badge on it, it doesn't deliver it all in one great lump. Whilst a Tesla's impressive and great for scaring your mum and impressing your friends, in a van when you've got precious cargo in the back, accelerating at breakneck speed isn't the most sensible thing, and it's also not very good for economy, which, let's be honest, if you're buying an eVito over the diesel, is why you're buying it. Instead, the eVito delivers things in a more measured approach, giving you acceleration that's a bit more akin to what you expect in a diesel van, though without that turbo lag, so the response is still pretty immediate. Supplying power to that electric motor is a 41 kilowatt hour battery that lives in the floor of this van. Now, on a full charge, Mercedes-Benz reckons that'll get you about 93 miles down the road, and in our testing this week, I'd say it probably does a little less than that, though the weather has been a bit on and off temperature-wise, which of course will affect your range. The van's charged via a 7.4 kilowatt Type 2 charger that takes about 6 hours to go from 0 to 100%. And while this drivetrain has plenty of plus points, of which we'll get onto in a moment, I have to say a 93-mile range and 6-hour charging time is far from the cutting edge of EV technology. And that's a bit of a shame, because I think it's vans like this that have so much potential. It just makes so much sense to have an electric van in an urban environment. And yes, 93 miles will do most of your urban deliveries, and if you park the van back up in, say, a depot and it charges overnight, then no worries whatsoever. Who will really reap the benefit from that are smaller businesses, but they also might be people who use the van for day to day. And if you don't have a driveway and you live in a flat, where are you spending 6 hours to charge your van? It's things like that you have to think about. Just like many electric vehicles, the eVito is actually quite a relaxing thing to drive, which is good news for anybody who spends many hours in the cab of their van. You don't realise how much an engine sort of contributes to the general gauze of noise you hear continuously until you start driving electric vehicles. It's quite soothing. As you build speed, of course, there's enough tyre noise and you hear noises that you otherwise wouldn't hear, but it's still much quieter than what the diesel equivalent of this vehicle is. This van continuously tops up its battery by harvesting energy through the drivetrain, the natural slowing of the drivetrain, and also through braking. Now, that can all be controlled via the wheel-mounted paddles here. You click through various settings and you can increase, I suppose, the resistance that it puts up as you come off the throttle. Put the resistance all the way up and actually you can get away with driving this van with just one pedal. See the need to slow down, lift off, and as long as it's in its highest setting, it slows down quite quickly. You're safe in the knowledge that actually you're doing the battery some good by giving yourself a little bit of extra range on every journey. There's also a series of selectable drive modes that you can cycle through that allow for increased performance or increased efficiency. All Vitos come standard with 17-inch wheels, though this being a progressive model you get the wheel covers. You'll also find 3 abreast seating comes at no cost, but progressive cars also get heated seats and lumbar support. A standard steel bulkhead is great for keeping you separate from your cargo and also boosting refinement in the cabin. The cabin itself is full of hardy, durable materials, which is great. Less great is this infotainment system, which is very last generation in comparison to the excellent MBUX system you'll find in the latest Sprinter. That system in the Sprinter feels like it could have come straight from a Mercedes-Benz car. In fact, it does. This feels like it's about 5 years old. The interface is very clunky and it just lacks a lot of functionality. In fact, there's an awful lot on this van that is optional, which you'd expect to be standard. And I think that's in a bid for Mercedes to bring the starting price down of the vehicle, which I can understand, encouraging people into electric vans if they're more affordable. And there is an £8,000 government grant with this van, which makes it much more acceptable price-wise. However, the stingy equipment levels still have me looking at other competitors and what they might offer instead. One of the biggest benefits of opting for any Mercedes-Benz van is that you get Mobilo Van, which is a 30-year breakdown cover. Providing you service the vehicle with Mercedes-Benz, they will come and get you from anywhere and recover you for free for 30 years, which is an impressive service that no other van company would even dream of offering. So it's good to see that Mercedes-Benz will stick by their owners even many years into the future. Now, the cost of having a three-pointed star on the nose of your new van in the form of an eVito would be about £40,000, not including VAT. Though there is that aforementioned £8,000 government grant to help encourage businesses into electric vehicles. So that makes it a little more tempting. Though it does make it more expensive than its competitors still, and whilst this is one of the first EVs to market, there's a lot of others coming with a hybrid solution and even more set to bring more advanced EV technology to play. The eVito is far from a bad van. It's a very pleasant thing to drive day to day, and it carries a lot of the strengths that the standard Vito van does. Plus, it has the kudos of having a Mercedes-Benz badge, which some businesses, certainly premium businesses, will value. And the 93-mile range, whilst not an issue for urban deliveries, is still going to keep people in diesel vans for the longer haul. I suppose for that you want to look actually at the new electric Sprinter. In all, the eVito is a good first effort, but the competition is coming over the hill pretty quickly. Head to YesAuto.com for the latest car news and reviews, and don't forget to check us out on social media. We're in all the usual places such as Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Simply search for YesAuto.